Recently, Oracle's Tansy Brooke caught up with the Chipotle controller and head of accounting, Jamie McConnell, to chat about moving their financial operations to the cloud, how it went, how long it took, and the early but impressive results. Take a look.
What is special about Chipotle? Like, why do you like working at Chipotle?
I think because it's a purpose-driven brand, so you can feel the energy when you walk in the office. Like, everybody's behind our purpose and our culture. Like, it really is a unique culture.
What would you say the culture of Chipotle is? What's the spirit of Chipotle?
I would say that everyone's real and authentic. So I would say that's one thing that kind of sets us apart, is everybody's very real and true to Chipotle. And I feel like people are very passionate about Chipotle and their food, so that makes it exciting too, because we have good food.
Chipotle in general is going through huge growth right now. Can you tell me a little bit about what that growth looks like? Like, where are you as a business right now, and where do you see yourselves going in the short term?
Yeah, so right now, we're just over or just about 3,000 restaurants, right? And we plan to double our business, so we have to support that growth. So I just see us being able to future automate. So we're doubling the business, but we're not doubling headcount. And I think with our business doubling in size, that we can't always double the headcount, right? So the accounting, it's changing with robotics, with automation, everything's changing.
What were some of the challenges that your team was having in the past with the systems that you were on?
So I felt like we're behind the curve all the time. So we were on this on-premise solution that was highly customized. So we were unable to take advantage of upgrades because we were so highly customized. So it resulted in us having a lot of bolt-on solutions. And so I felt like we were really reactionary versus proactive.
Since you had all these different systems that are sort of glommed together, you didn't really have a single streamlined system. And that was really important for you to do as a business. Why was that important? Like, why does it matter that you had all these different fragmented systems?
Because we wanted to be a one-stop shop, and then when we would change Oracle, we would have to change those systems. So we really wanted one solution to move forward, and I felt like Oracle provided that. And I also like that with the cloud, you're getting updates every quarter, so we didn't feel like we were reacting. If anything, we're trying to keep up with Oracle, so there's always new functionality coming out, and we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of it. And so that's the cool thing. You're not getting approval to do this big system upgrade. You're actually getting that functionality every single quarter. And I also felt like with Oracle, we're able to give them things that we want to put in the next solution, right? So it's like, I feel like we're working together as a team, and Oracle works with us to meet our needs.
And you guys had been an Oracle customer before. Like, I think you were EBS on-premise?
Yes, EBS before. So we loved Oracle. It was all the customization. So Oracle was working. It was just that we were so highly customized. So to unravel that was hard. So we knew when we were looking forward that Oracle was going to be our partner. We just did not want to be on the on-premise anymore.
In terms of implementing different products, like, where did you start, and why did you feel like that was the right place to start?
We started with the ERP system, so with the accounting and finance, and we felt like that was the place to start because that really houses everything, right? All of the data, everything that we're working with, so we felt like that was the right place to start.
What do you see as the role of finance within the business at Chipotle?
So we support the business, so we're a support function, and so we have to let the business be able to make their decisions. So in order to make decisions, you need data, right? And your data needs to be accurate. And so one huge thing also is Chipotle is a public company, and we have quick reporting deadlines. And so we need to report on that data pretty quick. And so Oracle Cloud also allowed us to automate the close process, which was helpful because it gave us more time to analyze the data.
Can you give an example of when you use data to challenge a reconciliation, when you found an inaccuracy?
Yeah, so it was with one of our delivery partners. Something looked off, and we realized that we were getting overcharged for some of our orders because there was refunds made or they were not our responsibility. So we found that in the data when we were analyzing because our reconciliation was off.
And was that was that something that was a surprise, or was that sort of expected? I'm just curious what the response
No,
was
it's
like.
definitely a surprise, but I feel like that's the new normal. Right now we have all this data at our fingertips, so I feel like we're way more proactive with everything, even just company spend in general, right? We are able to capture all of that quickly.
And do you have any sort of sense on how much savings that you guys have from that?
Gosh, I would say a couple million.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah.
That's a lot. What are some of the things that surprised you about this whole journey?
I guess, we implemented in 8 months, which when we first kicked off the project, I just thought there is no way this is going to happen, that we're going to get this project done in 8 months during COVID. But we did. We got it done in 8 months, and we were on time, on budget. And I feel I was a little worried about the change management, but I felt like Oracle Cloud was very user-friendly. Everybody was able to do everything in one place. So I think that helped with change management, right? You're not learning 17 new systems, you're learning one new system.
It seems like the role of finance is changing somewhat within businesses.
Yeah.
Like it seems like in the past, finance was really gatekeepers, sometimes naysayers.
Yeah.
But it seems like that role is evolving, where you're really becoming the co-pilot for strategy within the organization. And I think that's a very exciting place to be. And I'm curious, what's been your experience with that?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I feel like we're partnering with the business now. And so we feel like we can give them data and direction to make decisions, but I feel like we're part of those decisions now. So that's been exciting.
When everything happened with COVID, what was sort of the tone within the team? Do you feel like there was a feeling of responsibility to try to really help support the business, because the business was having to support sort of, I don't want to be too big, but society at large? It's like people need to eat, craziness is happening. Like on one hand, the whole world's saying business stop, but at the end of the day, like people needed food and restaurants and delivery and things to happen. And so I'm curious, did your team feel like a responsibility to sort of step in some ways and do your part, or sort of what was the perception and the feeling on your team when all this was happening?
Yeah, I feel like they definitely felt the responsibility to do their part. And I remember calling my team on a Friday and saying, hey, pack up your stuff. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And a year and a half later, we're still not back in the office, right? But we were able to keep all of our processes, meet all of our deadlines. So it's a shout out to my team, because they're pretty amazing.
Can you tell me what sort of your vision, like what are you excited about at this point? Like, what are you sort of looking forward to?
So I'm looking forward to automating as many things as we can. So this year has been a year of automation for us. So we've automated all of our account reconciliations, and probably the next step for us is we're doing some RPA, but we haven't done a lot. So I think that'll be the next thing that we kind of venture onto.
Can you tell me a little bit about the relationship you have with PwC?
Yeah, so PwC was a great partner. They just get us, and we have PwC kind of working with us in other areas of the business, so they made sense. So I give a huge shout out to PwC, because if it weren't for them, we probably would not have hit our 8-month timeline. So I always joke with them as like we're on time and on budget, because I told them that was one thing that we had to be, and they delivered on it. So that was great, and they're still a great partner.
Watch the full Chipotle episode with 2 more executives and learn more by visiting the link in the description. We welcome you to connect with us on the page to start your business on the digital journey with Oracle Cloud. And just like that Chipotle guac, keep coming back for more customer spotlights. You never know what company will shine a light on next.